Welcome back to the Ross Bolen podcast. I am your host, Ross Bolen, here again with the man they call J-Bone, Jared Borislow. J-Bone, how are you, dude?
I'm doing very well. I didn't eat too much leftovers.
You didn't gorge?
No, I had leftovers once.
I gorged hard. Like, the leftovers in my home are gone already. Granted, we only had my mother-in-law over, so it wasn't like too many people. It wasn't like there was just an obscene amount of food, but it was quite a bit of food for me, the wife, the toddler, and my mother-in-law, and we have already destroyed everything.
Did you go full bird?
That was left behind. Yes, but we picked it up. We didn't cook any. Like, my wife is very, very pregnant at the moment. We've got under 10 weeks until this child springs forth into the world.
It went by fast, I'll be honest with you.
Oh my God, it's gone by ridiculously fast, like an alarming rate of speed. But I wasn't going to, she wasn't going to cook a whole Thanksgiving and shit, and I don't know how to cook anything.
She's already got a bun in the oven.
Ha! Yeah, she's already cooking. So, we went ahead and picked up this year, and it was phenomenal. I won't lie. Like, I'm typically not a turkey guy, and this turkey, believe it was from Galaxy Cafe here in Austin, was phenomenal. I had a weird week since we last recorded, for sure. For starters, all right, my new house has a neighborhood pool at the front of the hood with a full-length outdoor basketball court adjacent to it. And one of the two hoops on that court has not had a net for a couple of months. Now, I have my own basketball hoop in my driveway, so I don't even use this shit anymore. But everyone knows I am for the kids, all right? I care about them and their experience. So my wife, on my behalf, emailed our HOA, our homeowners association that we have in this new neighborhood, asking if they could please replace the net, because otherwise I don't know what my money is being used on. And I don't know if you've ever shot on a basketball hoop with no net, but it fucks the depth perception. Like,
I mean, it's also not satisfying.
Yeah, and it makes it extremely difficult, especially on an outdoor hoop, to really get a consistent shot going. So she sends this email, and literally 5 minutes later, we are leaving the neighborhood, and I look over and I see there are two men actively replacing the net, like installing a new net. Just totally out of coincidence. There's no way it was in response to her email. So it just happened to have been already happening, which is important to the story. Then, an hour after that, no exaggeration here, an hour later, all right, I check my email and I have received one from the HOA containing a photo of my house with the trash bin out front, threatening to fine me because it was supposed to be put away a day earlier. Granted, it has been raining up until yesterday in Austin, Texas, for 2 weeks straight. Mm-hmm. The only reason I had not pulled the trash bin in already was because it was fucking pouring. I didn't want to go out there and get soaking wet. So very clearly, whoever this psychotic woman is in charge of the HOA, took offense to us questioning her authority in any way and suggesting that she get this net replaced on this basketball hoop, which was already being done. So she drove by our house to be like, who are these sons of bitches? Because we've never had any interaction. We've only lived there for a couple months. She saw the trash can and took the opportunity to exert her authority on me. And I don't do well with that. I've had a problem with authority since I was a child. Now, that applies to everyone except the police. When the police tell me to do something, I've always listened, because except for once. Twice. A couple times I ran.
One time you jumped out of the second story of the parking garage, and that's the picture that was the emblem for this podcast for years.
But in fairness, I landed next to a cop car, so maybe I was just trying to make it easier for them to arrest me, because that guy immediately got out and did. But the point is, this rubbed me the wrong way, like really, really hard. So I tweeted about it, and the amount of people who responded that despise their homeowners association or have had a horrible experience with it was mind-blowing. I mean, it really, really, it's kind of shocked me. So I ended up, like, one of the things I tweeted was, if these people think I have something better to do aside from troll their asses, they are correct. But I will allocate my valuable time toward trolling their asses nonetheless. One fucking day late, it's been raining for a fucking week straight. I will literally shit in the street. And I am now firmly part of the defund the HOA movement. If there's anything we need to defund, this is it.
Okay, well, you're paying every month.
Yes, and it should be defunded as such. So I don't want to pay every month.
Are you going to stop paying?
To be harassed? That's the payment I made. Like, it's a fee for me to be harassed.
But are you going to stop paying? You have a very clear way of defunding them.
By not paying at all. The thing is, your fines rack up really quickly. Like, we had one listener who contacted me and said he just had gotten an $8,000 HOA fine removed because he let him stack up and was refusing to pay, like to the point that he had to go to court and fight it. And he did get it off, apparently. But another listener actually sent me sharing a Wikipedia page with facts about the racist history of HOAs. Now, I had no idea about this. This makes it even deeper. So I'll read part of it. Early covenants and deed restrictions were established to control the people who could buy in a development. In the early post-war period after World War II, many HOAs were defined to exclude African Americans and, in some cases, Jews, with Asians also excluded on the West Coast. For example, a racial covenant in Seattle, Washington neighborhood stated, "No part of said property hereby conveyed shall ever be used or occupied by any Hebrew or by any person of Ethiopian, Malay, or any Asiatic race."
Those are really specific.
In 1948, the United States Supreme Court ruled such covenants unenforceable in Shelley versus Kramer. However, private contracts effectively kept them alive until the Fair Housing Act of 1968, which prohibited such discrimination. By requiring approval of tenants and new owners, HOAs still have the potential to permit less formalized discrimination. Now, nobody came and interviewed me before I bought my house or anything like that. And this is actually the second time I've had an HOA. The first house I ever owned was a townhouse, and that had an HOA, but it was technically classified as a condo. That's neither here nor there. The point is, I've dealt with this situation before. I've been to a few HOA meetings in my life. I generally get that it tends to be a bored person in the neighborhood who runs for president, doesn't have that much else to do, because it takes quite a lot of responsibility. There's a lot of shit you have to keep up with. All the different payments from all the houses in the neighborhood, deciding how to allocate those funds. And in this case, driving around and harassing new residents to show them that you are in charge, which I will not stand for. Another listener suggested the only way for me to win this battle is to run for president of the HOA.
Oh, God.
And I am now almost certainly going to do that.
No.
Yes, just off of this alone. I will run, I will win, and I will bring forth such an era of chaos and insanity upon this hood that no one will dare to glance at my house again. It's the only option I have, Jared.
I think, realistically, this is one of your worst ideas ever.
To defund the HOA or to run?
To run.
Yeah, I don't have time for that. But the point is that I'll run. It's like Gladiator. Have you seen the movie Gladiator?
Run just
Jared,
to win?
have you seen Gladiator?
What do you think?
No.
Yeah.
So in Gladiator, a simple, actually starts off as a general, then he's turned into a slave and becomes a gladiator.
Is this Russell Crowe?
Yeah, and he fights his way to the top, and then he, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Gladiator like Jared, that's on you. You've had 20 years.
Should I cover my ears?
Yeah, plug your ears real quick. Earmuffs, Jared. He fights his way all the way to the top, and then he gets challenged by the Emperor, and he murders the Emperor in the gladiator ring, and he becomes the Emperor, and immediately he creates a democracy. He gives the country back to the people. So that's what I'm going to do here. I have to destroy it from the inside. I have to run. I have to win. I get to be president of the HOA, and then I de-establish the entire thing. Removing all the rules so people can paint their houses whatever color they want, put whatever they want in their yard. I don't give a shit. As long as I'm left alone to put my trash bin up a fucking day later because it was pouring rain and I don't have an umbrella. I don't have an umbrella. That's another thing that came out of this. I realized I don't have an umbrella.
You don't own one.
Don't own an umbrella.
You also put a lot of the emphasis for that word in the first syllable.
Umbrella. Umbrella.
I believe it. I say umbrella. You go umbrella.
I kind of like umbrella as a pronunciation. You know when you buy a Rolls Royce, an umbrella comes in the trunk?
I thought it came in the door, and you
in the door.
You push it, it's like a memory card and a camera. You push it in, and then it comes out all the way.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think the Penguin had that in all of his cars, so he didn't have to carry his umbrella everywhere?
That's a good question. Wasn't his umbrella also like a machine gun?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I buy that. Where's the clip?
The clip of what?
Bullets.
Oh, I thought you meant a clip. You wanted me to magically pull up a clip of this from Batman. I was like, I don't have that.
Run that clip, Jared. What's Joe Rogan's guy's name? Jamie. He's always like, Jamie, let's get that clip up on the screen for everybody, which has always annoyed me because...
You listen to it?
No, but conceptually, no one listening to the show can see what he's referencing.
Yeah, but most people watch it, don't they?
I don't know. I have no idea what his listenership split is as far as like video watchers versus... just regular podcast listeners. Ours is ridiculously extreme. Like
it's extremely.
It's like 99% audio listeners only. Nobody gives a shit about our YouTube.
It's more than 99%.
If you're on YouTube right now,
hello.
Hi, we appreciate you very much. YouTube.com/at the Ross Bolen podcast. YouTube added ats. It's confusing.
What's dumb is /at. It sounds wrong, but that's correct.
It's actually correct somehow. Yeah. Anyway, I've got this war brewing with some lady in my neighborhood. I haven't even figured out which house is hers yet.
She knows where you live, though.
She definitely does, and it made me real uncomfortable. Like, there's like a big window at the front of my house, and I walk around naked constantly at the top of the stairs just to exert authority over the neighborhood. And I was kind of worried that what might be like a Google Maps situation, like her photo might include me in the nude at the top, but it didn't. But yeah, I don't know, man. This whole homeowners association thing, I don't like it.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna fight it.
Man, if only you had known that you were going to be in a homeowner association when you bought the place.
Yeah, I knew, but I didn't think it would be like I get why they exist. People don't want what I just described, which is you can paint your house any color, you can put up a fence wherever you want, you can extend your home however you want, do whatever you want with your property. That can get a little messy. Some people are psychotic and they do weird shit and leave all kinds of crazy shit in their front yards and stuff.
Or they leave their Christmas decorations up all year.
Yeah.
People don't like that.
They don't like that.
Some people love that, though.
It upsets people, and I get that, but this is a bridge too far. It's a fucking trash bin, Jared. It's not like some stain on the community. And here's the other side. I have done, while all these other rich people are paying people to do their yards, I've been doing my own yard, trying to be like Rick Ross and mow my own lawn, pull my own weeds, do my own edging. I keep my shit tight.
I edged you just last week.
This is a different kind of edging, Jared. And I don't like that all it took was for me during a fucking 2-week rainy period, monsoon. That's when I get in trouble and my first threat of a fine, and they can fine me and take more of my money when I already don't know what they're doing. It's like $100 a month these people are taking from me. That's like a cell phone bill.
I feel like that's not even that much compared to some other ones I've heard.
That's more money than the internet at Bolen Media costs a month. It's like $90. It's craziness.
It's crazy.
I don't like it.
Are you sure you do your own landscaping? Didn't you? You told me you use Four Seasons Total Landscaping.
What the hell is that?
Where Rudy Giuliani.
Since we're bringing it up, did you see that the Don had Kanye over to Mar-a-Lago for dinner?
And Nick Fuentes.
He brought Nick Fuentes with him, known anti-Semite and Holocaust denier. And the Don apparently wasn't aware that Nick Fuentes was coming or aware of who he is.
I didn't know who he was till this happened, personally.
I had heard of him, and it just a total disaster. Could not. And look, there's a lot of Ye news right now that I'm not going to discuss, but let me just say this. I've sworn off of him for the show, right? So I'll spare you all a long-winded Kanye segment, but please, for the love of God, Google Kanye West Rolling Stone, and then read the article about what they uncovered about him when he was at Adidas and what he was doing with the Yeezy brand. He was essentially an abusive employer that was doing all kinds of crazy shit. I'll just throw one of them at you. He demanded that a female designer make a shoe he could have sex with, and also he was randomly in meetings making people watch pornography, turning on porn in the background and saying that was the only way he could concentrate, which is something that you've done here at the Bolen Media office, and I don't appreciate. And also then like he'd be in an interview with somebody. Like imagine if I was interviewing right now, and then Kim Kardashian would send him like a nude suggestive sexual photo, and then he would show it to the fucking person he was interviewing, which just for the record is not allowed. It's illegal. But yeah, so that's all I'll say. You have to Google it. if you want more information, I've sworn off of the man. All right.
You're wearing Yeezys.
I know, but that's
right. Literally, like that's like right now.
They're just Adidas now. They're not Yeezys, Jared. These are Adidas. There's no Yeezy branding on them. They're strictly Adidas. I'm not a Yeezy guy. All the shoes formerly known as Yeezys that are in my closet are now just Adidas.
A lot of them say YZY on them.
Some of them do. Which makes it confusing. Today's episode is brought to you by Manscaped, the global leaders in below-the-waist grooming. They have the best tools for cleaning aisle 5 in your pants. Time to clear out the bush and join the other 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping when you use the code RBP. They have the full package you need for keeping your crops fresh. The Performance Package 4.0, the only tool you need to keep your boys looking and smelling like the fresh tulips your partner wants. To start off, use the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer to get the most precise shave on your hedges. Did we mention it is waterproof as well? And it also has an LED light on it, which I've made fun of before, suggesting that you'd have to be a complete psycho to shave your dick and balls in the dark. But I used mine last week. Maybe TMI. Don't care. The light is brilliant. It helps you see how much you've got going and keep your shit even throughout. Really appreciate that. You can also clean your holes and smell the spring air with the Weed Whacker, and it's not what you're thinking, you disgusting two-hole loving bastard. It's the nose and ear hair trimmer provided with proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate holes. And after clearing your nose, make sure to get rid of that fall ball smell, your testicles, your odorous testicles.
The fall ball smell? Smells like
it's
fall.
It's time to get into that winter ball smell, Jared, with the Crop Preserver and Crop Reviver. It's an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer, and the Reviver is a spray-on toner for your balls to keep them toned and keep them from sticking to your leg and have them smelling like fresh flowers. Finish off your grooming routine with the Plow 2.0, the perfect razor for the finest shave on your face. Because remember, Jared, if you're using your Lawnmower 4.0 on your balls and your face, you are doing it wrong. The holidays are here. Get yourself a Manscaped package for the boy in your life with the junk in his pants that needs cleaning. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code RBP at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping. Code RBP at manscaped.com. Time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your downstairs mix-up today with Manscaped.
It's important to note that as the holidays approach, you can both buy presents and support Bolen Media by buying presents that are our sponsors.
At the same exact time. Just make sure you use those codes so that we get credit. I did some retail therapy last week. I ordered the new iPhone, okay? And previously, I had an iPhone 13 Pro Max. Probably my favorite iPhone I've ever had, just because the camera is phenomenal. I spent a lot of time taking pictures of my dogs and stepdaughter and wife, and I loved it. It was a great phone, but I had cracked the shit out of the back of it, like to the point that like it had, kind of spider webbed up to the camera area, and there was a circle of cracks around the camera, and I was like, this is not long for this world. And I'm in the Apple upgrade program, right? And I was like $50 from paid off or something like that. So I was like, screw it, I'll get the new iPhone for myself. Give myself a little treat ski. And so I went to the Apple Store app on my iPhone, and it said, when I went and clicked, it was like there was two options in the drop-down menu, iPhone 14 or iPhone 14 Plus, and I thought those were the only two options, so I ordered the iPhone 14 Plus, and I went to the Apple Store the next day to pick it up, and that is not I downgraded, essentially. My phone is shittier than the one I had previously, because the idiot helping me didn't I'm an idiot, first of all. I should have been Googling more. I'm definitely the first person to blame, but this gets more complicated. So I'm in the Apple Store, okay, at our Barton Creek Mall here in Austin.
You're talking to a genius.
And I'm talking to one of the geniuses, and he gives me the new phone, and as I'll just hold it up here. It
looks kind of fancy.
It's okay, but it sucks. Look, there's only 2 cameras on the back. I had 3 cameras on the old phone. I can't even zoom in 3x by just pressing a button on this one. There's all kinds of things that are different. But point is, I'm missing out on a lot of the new technology that they added on the Pro and Pro Max, and it's just so as we're in the process of like him taking my old phone and setting up the new phone, I started to realize my mistake, because I'm looking around and there's like iPhone 14 Pro Max branding and shit on the walls, and like a video, the massive screen in there that's like scrolling products the whole time. And I was like, oh God. But before I could even think to get this fixed, we ran into a myriad of issues trying to even activate my new phone because my AT&T account, I've had AT&T for a while, it's been a total disaster for years. Essentially, I was on my mom's way back in the day. This is like 8 years ago, I think. I got off my mother's account. But when I did, there was some data feature, like unlimited data that I was trying to preserve that was grandfathered in at that point, which I don't think is an issue anymore or a thing. Like everybody gets...
It still is a thing.
Oh, maybe it is. But they set up my new account. The person thought they were hooking me up by like allowing me to keep the grandfathered in unlimited data, but there was some weird connection to my mom's account still, because when I went to sign in to my AT&T account to activate this phone, the only two numbers that popped up are my mom's and my brother's. Then I checked my AT&T bill, and the only name on there is my ex-wife. And I was like, oh God, because the fact of the matter is when I got off of my mom's phone or her plan, I had opened up an account with my ex. And then when we got divorced and removed her from the plan entirely, she maintained ownership of the account. So technically, she owned my cell phone number, which I've had since I was a child, right? Do not want to change it. It's my two-factor authentication for like 36 different things we need here at work. Big problem. So I go to activate the phone, and it asks me for my billing zip code. So I put it in. It tells me that's incorrect, ends up locking my account. I can't activate the new phone. Instead of this being like a 20-minute quick pickup and exit with a new phone that I'm excited about, it's 2 fucking hours. 2 fucking hours the day before Thanksgiving that I spend in the Apple store. It was a nightmare.
To get a worse phone.
To get a shittier phone that I didn't actually want, and definitely wish I still had the old one still.
So I have so many questions.
Yes, please fire away.
The main one is, when you realized, oh, I'm getting the 14 Plus and not the 14 Pro Max, you're still in the Apple store at this point.
It was.
How do you not go? When I actually went.
Because all this activation shit came up. I was like, in my head, I was like, just get through this. You can survive this. Get the phone activated. Come back another time. Sort out the issue. Buy the other phone. Do whatever you need to do. And I'll get to that in a moment. Because basically, I eventually get out of there. And the Apple store guy, as I'm leaving, he's like, dude, you just need to go to AT&T. Find a day you have that makes sense. Go to AT&T and get a brand new account set up. So I follow his advice. I go to the AT&T store around the corner from my house.
Authorized retailer?
No, absolutely not. And he was very specific about that, too. He said, make sure it's a corporate store. And I was like, oh, buddy, believe me, I know. Never go to an authorized retailer. Find yourself a corporate store. No matter what service you're on, if you go to an authorized retailer, they don't actually have the ability to do shit with your account. They have to call the corporate store, and then you're just having a middleman that you're dealing with for no reason. But I went to an actual AT&T corporate store. I walk in, I'm talking to the guy, and he's like, yeah, so the problem is we have to get permission from your ex to release your cell phone number from this account so we can set you up a new account so that it doesn't have all these weird issues tied to your mom's former account, tied to your former wife's name. And I was like, oh, God. And long story short, it worked out. It was a happy ending in that regard, where I had to send a very awkward text message that was graciously responded to in a timely manner, got my shit removed from the account. But that took another hour and a half. And the guy in the AT&T store, which was not an authorized retailer, still couldn't get it done. I had to call and do it over the phone, which was like a 45-minute phone call with me sitting in the parking lot, just fuming. It was so frustrating. And at the end of all of that, I have a phone I don't want. It's the Apple 14 Plus.
Okay, at the very least, you were going to have to do
14
the phone number thing anyways, eventually.
Yes, and I remember specifically when I got the 13 Pro Max, this issue came up, and I was like, nope. Not dealing with this shit right now. I just wasn't in a place to deal with it. But this time I took care of it, got it done. Here's my advice. If you get divorced and you were sharing a cell phone plan, make sure you secure your cell phone number and own it under your name. All right? It's essential that you do this. And don't do what I did. Don't go, no, I'll take care of it later. Do it then. Do it then. You're already in a shitstorm. Deal with it in the midst of the shitstorm. If you don't want to create another shitstorm later on. Because the fact of the matter is, she could have been like, fuck you, not only could she have closed the account, she could have had my fucking cell phone number removed from the entire atmosphere. It could have been gone, poof, forever. I would have had to get a new number. I don't even want to think about that any further. Like, it causes me such a great deal of stress to imagine having to have a new cell phone number. What do you even fucking do? I realize you maintain your contacts, but do you have to like text every single person? Hey, this is Ross on my new number.
I don't know. What's your number again?
Yeah, right. I'm not making that mistake, J-Bone. But so yeah, I'm gonna go back to the Apple Store tomorrow morning, I think, and try to switch this phone, because I guess I'll just tell this part too. So Friday, all right, Black Friday, I was like, there's no way I'm going anywhere, right? Not trying to be a part of that mob. I fucking hate Black Friday and Cyber Monday today with an undying passion, partially because of our former line of work where that was a huge part of our jobs, was marketing all of our products during those days.
Yeah,
but
I've been a part of very big Black Friday campaigns at multiple companies, and it's not fun.
Yeah, the company you worked at, in between the one we worked at together and Bolen Media, was a big part of your job as well. It's hell. It's hell. Everybody who works in that space that is in marketing knows it sucks. And everybody who's not knows it sucks because you get 7,000 emails. I have been unsubscribing from emails for 48 hours straight.
That's a silver lining, is you do see all the places, because everybody sends out a Black Friday
This
email.
is the chance.
Everybody.
If you're trying to recoup your email address, I completely lost it. 2019 into 2020, bro, I completely lost control of my email. And this is when I've begun the fight. By 2023, by the end of 2023 at least, I will have full control again, because it's not even a useful message. Like, if you send me an email, the odds I see it right now are like 5%. It gets buried in 20 minutes. So I've just been unsubscribing left and right. But yeah, absolute night. Oh, so my point is, I got on my computer and I went to the Apple Store and chatted with an Apple, whatever, support chat.
Virtual genius.
Yeah, virtual genius. And I was like, hey, and I actually blamed it on my wife. I was like, my wife bought me the wrong phone, which is not true. It was me, but I didn't want to admit that to the genius. I didn't want
Why? Why? What do you?
I don't know, man.
Preserve some sort of relationship with this genius?
I thought if they thought, well, oh, it's this guy's wife, she made a simple mistake, an error, then perhaps they would be more willing to assist me in righting this wrong. I was incorrect. They were like, yeah, so the only way we can fix it is if you buy a new phone, and we'll ship you that after you ship us your current phone that you have. And I was like, what do I do in the meantime? And they were like, I don't know, deal with it. It's like, I can't not have a phone. This is my job. Like, a lot of my job happens on this cell phone. So fingers crossed for me. Pray for me that when I go to the Apple Store, I can rectify this somehow.
What are you going to get?
I just want the 14 Pro or Pro Max. I don't even know which one yet. I might get a smaller one because I'm dealing with this carpool tunnel. And that's definitely part of it. I'm hauling around this gigantic fucking phone. Which one do you have right now?
I think I have the 13 Pro.
13 Pro? So it's slightly smaller than the Max, I'm assuming?
Yes. I never checked out the Max. Maybe I do have the Max. I don't know. I know I have the Pro. I got the Pro.
I think you have the Pro because it doesn't look as thick as the Max.
It's not very thick.
Yeah. I think I want that.
But I do have 3 cameras, unlike you little freaking...
I know. I can't even fucking zoom in on you right now if I want to. It's just, like, I can zoom in. Let's see. Yeah. It just says 1X. You know how yours has like the 3X option? You just press it. I know you can pinch, but I feel like the quality drop off.
You don't have
insane.
optical zoom. I have optical zoom.
Yeah.
You don't.
No, I don't have a lot of
digital
things
zoom.
I'm so unhappy with this. And there's a lot of other features that I was like, wait, what? Like always on is apparently one of them, like where your phone is not, I don't know. We don't have to get into it, but it wasn't great. And I hope I can fix it.
You sound like you had a really bad holiday.
It was a weird holiday. Like it was one of those holidays where everything I tried to do didn't go the way I wanted it to. I tried to sound treat some of my my home office so that I could record there if needed. And I put the sound treatment up on the door first. I was like, I'm just going to try this one piece. I've got one of these foam squares that are rectangles that is next to me right now if you're watching on YouTube or whatever. I guess you can't really see it, but just trust me, they're all over the room. And I put it up on the door using these adhesive squares that you put on the back of the sound treatment foam.
How long is that up for?
It was up for about 6 hours. So I don't know how to do it.
The foam's not even that heavy. Were you
am
using sticky tack?
I ended up YouTubing this, and it's one of the first times I've used YouTube like this to find a solution for a home project.
You're dating yourself. I do that for every home project.
It is amazing how much information you get, but the information I got was even more frustrating because it was mostly people being like, yeah, this is pretty much impossible. You're either going to need this type of glue that will destroy the entire area you are gluing it to permanently, so please, if you're in an apartment, don't do it, or you're going to need a staple gun. And I was like, who the fuck has a staple gun handy or this glue? And I don't want to destroy everything in the room, damn it. Like, this room we're sitting in is a mess.
Yeah.
We way over sound treated it, and if we ever have to get rid of this house, I'm going to have to spend thousands of dollars redoing the walls in this room.
There's a lot of staples.
I mean, at least hundreds of dollars.
There's a lot of staples.
You don't understand how many holes are behind things that you don't see right now because they're covered by sound treatment, but there is a lot.
We'll just stick some drywall over it. It'll be good.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Today's episode is also brought to you by Trade Coffee. The holidays are approaching. It is time to start thinking about what you're going to gift your loved ones, and if you're looking for something to get even the hardest to shop for, look no further than a personalized coffee subscription from Trade Coffee. We are big coffee boys here at Bolen Media. We love Trade Coffee and all the new blends we've been able to try since getting our subscription at the office. Trade Coffee is a coffee subscription service that makes it so simple for you to discover new coffees and make your best cup of coffee at home every day. No fancy equipment needed. Trade partners with the nation's top-rated independent roasters to send you coffee that they know you'll love, fresh to your home and on your preferred schedule. And you get to support small local businesses, Jared, like ours. If we made coffee, we don't. But it's a win-win.
I grind my own beans, and so I have them set up to where my subscription from Trade, they send me whole bean coffee from all over the country. It is
all over
amazing.
The world in some cases.
Well, the beans are from all over the world, and then the roasteries are generally here in America.
Lovely.
I absolutely love it. I don't know if you don't think you can taste the difference in coffee beans.
Oh, you definitely can.
You definitely can.
I used to be one of these people that said, what does it matter? It's all the same. Coffee is coffee. That is absolutely fucking incorrect. It's absurdly incorrect, and I feel silly for ever thinking it. Mm-hmm. Whether you already know what you like or you're new to specialty coffee and need some help, Trade makes it easy and convenient to discover new coffees. They'll send you ground coffee or whole beans, like Jared said, for however you make your coffee at home. So whether you're just getting started or a coffee aficionado looking to discover something new, Trade guarantees you'll love your first bag, or they'll send you a new one for free. Our latest blend from Trade Coffee is Colombia. It's chock full of that nutty sweetness we love in a Colombian coffee, a perfectly balanced cup that has become my daily drinker with hints of nut, milk, chocolate, and citrus. It's from Necessary Coffee in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and it's delicious. Treat yourself or the coffee lover in your life with Trade Coffee. Right now, Trade is offering our listeners a total of $30 off a subscription and access to a limited time holiday specials at drinktrade.com/RBP. That's drinktrade.com/RBP for $30 off. drinktrade.com/RBP. I took my stepdaughter to get a pink donut and pink milk, as she calls it, from Shipley's Donuts. Now, I know this is a regional thing, so some of you listening may not even know what Shipley's is, but suffice it to say, Shipley's is my favorite donut shop because they also have incredible kolaches, jalapeno and sausage ones as well. And I grew up in a neighborhood in Houston, Texas at Briar Forest and Derry Ashford where there was a Shipley's within walking distance. And when I say within walking distance, I mean literally right outside of the neighborhood. So it was like a 2-minute walk, for real, for real. Some people say walking distance and they live in New York and it's like 15 blocks. You people are nuts. Not the way it works in Houston. It's way too fucking hot and humid most of the time. But I love Shipley's, really enjoy it. And there's one that's not too far from my neighborhood where my HOA is currently harassing me. I took the toddler there. And when we're standing in line, I look over and there's first of all, there's a little hand-drawn, Shipley's love letter that some little girl made, which I'll get to in a minute. And right above that is a framed headshot of Pierce Brosnan, most notably of 007 James Bond fame, but also movies like Dante's Peak and the like.
And noted Austinite.
I did not know he lived here.
Yep.
Okay, so that is a huge piece of information that I'm receiving live on the air right as we speak,
yes,
which explains part of this because it's a signed photo. It's not just a random headshot. It's signed, and his fucking handwriting is such gibberish. I cannot even read what it says. I actually tweeted out the photo and asked people to take a shot at what it says, and there have been several suggestions basically around something like live life. And it's a quote from somebody else, and then he signed it 2016. It makes no fucking sense.
He quoted "Live Life," decided to attribute that to somebody else.
Yeah.
You can just say it's your own quote.
And that's his thing that he decided to put on the headshot. But so first question is, like, somebody tweeted this in response as well, like, always wonder how these happen. Did Pierce just have a headshot laying in his car? Or did Shipley's order that and then have him sign it like the next time he came in? And what do you think? Because you'll see these in all kinds of restaurants, right? Like I remember there's a Brothers Pizza in Houston, Texas that I used to go to a lot in high school. And they had a few different ones from Sopranos cast members.
Were they headshots or photos of them at the establishment?
These were like professional photos, not of them at the establishment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've been to Craig's in West Hollywood, and all those pictures there are like pictures of them, I feel
in
like,
the establishment.
or at like events with the owner or something.
Right. Which I feel like makes a lot more sense. It's really awkward to just sign a headshot and put it on the wall.
Do famous people's assistants carry a bunch of headshots of them? Is that a thing? I don't know.
Maybe. I feel like old school famous people, like Pierce Brosnan for sure, right? Like he's a little older. I don't know how old he is at this point,
old.
but he's got to be 60, right?
Oh, he's like 78? How old is that guy?
78? 69.
Okay.
Nice.
That's good.
Nice. Yeah, but first of all, a lot of respect for Pierce Brosnan, man. I watched Mrs. Doubtfire, film that many people forget he's in.
I did forget he's the dad in that.
He is the stepdad that arises in Mrs. Doubtfire, and I'm a big stepdad advocate now, so a lot of respect for Pierce Brosnan for that. I'm also a hairy chest guy. Pierce Brosnan, noted hairy chest guy, but also grew up on GoldenEye. Greatest N64 game ever made, arguably.
Are you going to claim right now that the character in GoldenEye who has like 2 pixels of a face is
him.
Pierce Brosnan?
It absolutely, undoubtedly is him. For serious, though, it is. And then the movie, I watched that movie probably 20 times.
Oh, hey, Pierce, I loved you in GoldenEye, the video game.
I did. You're going to get ripped for this. I swear to God, it's going to be him that did the voice acting and shit, too. I don't even know if there was voice acting, if he delivered a single line. But it's his very pixelated face. In addition to this ridiculous headshot on the wall with some insane quote scribbled in gibberish that you can't even fucking read, go to my Twitter if you want to see the photo. Below it, as I mentioned, was this piece of art by this little girl. And in my head, when I'm asking myself, like, okay, first I have to explain how I know it was a little girl. I'm in line, and the guy in front of me is with a little girl. And after he orders, he asks the owner of the Shipleys, who has a custom vanity plate that says something donut related that is slipping my mind at the moment, but it's always parked right outside, and I'll figure it out and bring that information back to y'all. It says like one glazed or something, which is actually, it's not that, because that sounds sexual too. The point is, this guy asked the owner, hey, could you come talk to us for a second? And I was like, oh shit, is he about to murder this guy or like complain about like a fucking thing he found in his donut I'm about to order? But no, he was thanking him for having put up the art that his daughter sent in the mail to this Shipley's because she loves it so much. Which is, first of all, weird move, little girl. Find another cause. But secondly, very nice of the man to actually put it up on the wall. But it's the thing that convinced me there's no way this Pierce Brosnan signature and photo situation is fake, no matter how ridiculous the quote may be that is attributed to somebody else. And I'm not even sure he actually signed it. Yeah, no, he did, right above 2016. But it can't be fake, because you wouldn't hang this little girl's personal artwork right below a fake Pierce Brosnan thing. And this guy, I looked at him and I said, you don't strike me as the kind of person that would have the sense of humor to fake this. Because I could see how it could be a funny thing. Like, I'm kind of tempted at this point to get some headshots of some celebrities and fake some shit on them and put them up behind me on the set, right?
Yeah.
Or behind you. You need more than I do. On the J-Bone side of the RBP studio, we're lacking in decoration.
Maybe we get like a
just says arcade and points to your head.
Like a painting of George Washington, and you sign it.
Sign that.
To Ross.
Anyway, that was my Shipley's experience. And in other,
wait, you didn't know Pierce Brosnan lived here?
Dude, no. And he must be close to me.
If he's going to that, I mean, yeah,
it's his shit. Or I guess he could have been close to me. This was 6 years ago when he signed that.
True.
Who knows if he is now?
Okay, who is a hotter Austinite? Pierce Brosnan in his prime, or Adrian Grenier in his prime?
Damn, they're very similar in sexiness.
They are.
That's a tough. I would say Pierce Brosnan, though, no doubt. I'm not a big Entourage guy, man, and he was the worst character on the show.
You always said you try to like live college like you were an Entourage.
I didn't. I did. I watched it with every other dumbass dude that was my age, but I mostly hated it. Like, that was a terrible squad. Fuck all those people. The only redeemable one is Johnny, what's his name?
Drama?
Johnny Drama. I almost said Johnny Bravo, also redeeming. But Johnny Drama was the only person in that crew I want to even hang out with.
Was Jeremy Renner in Entourage?
Yeah, he was Ari Gold. Oh, no. Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Piven.
Jeremy Renner may have been one of the assistants. No, that's a different guy that I'm thinking of. I don't think he was. But you're right. Jeremy Piven played Ari Gold. All-time character. Would also kick it with him, for sure. But only him and Johnny. That's it. Everybody else on that show can suck balls or kiss a toad. What do you say?
Suck a toad.
Suck a toad. Thank you.
I've never seen Entourage. Is it worth a rewatch? Is it worth me to watch my way through?
There is absolutely no way it has aged well, but I will say this. They're only like 20, 30-minute episodes or whatever. So not 20, 30-minute episodes. They are 20 or 30 minutes-ish.
How many episodes?
A lot.
Over 100?
That was a lot of seasons. No, not over 100. Probably like 70.
Yeah. Remember a guy one of the freelance writers at Grand X did a Entourage rewatch podcast.
That sounds absolutely miserable. Holy shit. I don't even know what you would talk about. Just how lame everyone is all the time. The Adrian Grenier's character, the only thing he ever did was like, it's all right, guys. It's going to work out. Everything's going to work out. And I know you haven't seen it, so you don't know. But that was it. That was his whole character arc. Banging hot celebrity women and saying everything is going to work out. Somehow Mandy Moore was on the show at one point. That thing stunk. In other RBP-related news, Drake, Aubrey Graham, is releasing a shoe that is inspired by the infamous book Love You Forever that is behind me on this
fucking way.
On this shelf right now.
There's no way.
I swear to God, go to his Instagram page, and if you're new here and you don't know, we've been doing a bit on this for a while. I can't even look at the cover of this book without tearing up. It's one that my parents read to me when I was a child. It is it's like the most emotional children's book ever written. Sold bajillion copies. The dude who wrote it's probably on a yacht right now that says Love You Forever on the side because they've sold so many copies of this thing. But it is emotionally traumatizing and abusive, in my opinion, and should not exist. Every copy should be burned, and I put that copy behind us today to remind us of that fact. Why I've kept it, I do not know. But Drake is putting out an Air Force One that is basically dedicated to his mother. I'll just read you a piece of this from Sneaker News. First seen over a year ago, Aubrey Graham's, which it feels disrespectful to call him that, he's Drake. His next joint effort with Nike indulges in a straightforward and classic white ensemble. Countless netizens, don't even know what that means, have taken to social media to express their disappointment in the sneaker's simplicity, but it's worth noting that making adjustments to the Air Force One's low outsole pattern, for example, is no small feat. The pair features hearts instead of stars at the forefront, a decision that required a brand new mold. Air text at the lateral midsole is replaced with a cursive Love You Forever, a message that's echoed in the children's book from 1986 of the same title, written by Robert Munch and illustrated by Sheila McGraw, which we've discussed at length. Google RBP Love You Forever if you want to, and you can listen to the first episode. We discussed it. Drake unveiled a modified version of the 36-year-old book alongside the Love You Forever Air Force One on his Instagram, revealing its dedication to the world. Quote, "For my mother, your perennial care and nurturing is never lost on me. This book is the time capsule of our love. I long for the days when it was this simple." Signed, Aubrey. Now, if nothing else, Drake seems to be a wonderful son. He talks about his mom a lot, gives her a lot of credit. Seems like they have a really special relationship. That being said, him taking what is a traumatizing novel that most of us are attempting to forget, this children's book, and making it into a shoe is next level cruel, and I don't appreciate it at all. I will not be purchasing these. It goes without saying. But so on his Instagram, he put up a photo of the book that he has like a special edition of it with a Nike swoosh in the background. So like behind the kid in the toilet, there's a giant Nike swoosh. I'm not fucking with you. It's insane. It felt like I even ended up talking with somebody about it that told me like this our version of this simulation is our timeline is the only place this exists. I'm like, this is insane.
The Nike Love You Forevers?
I feel like I'm being trolled specifically at this point by him.
Who do you think Drake loves more, his mom or strippers?
I bet it's a pretty close tie. I've heard some outrageous stories about stuff this guy's done at strip clubs. Like he bought like a whole gang of strippers like $20,000 handbags or some shit instead of throwing cash one night. He's a nut. But yeah, so if you want to get the Drake Love You Forever edition Air Force Ones and further traumatize yourself, have at it.
I think if you're a listener and you're really rich, buy Ross a pair of these. What shoe size are you in Nikes?
10.5. Hey, look, if you want to, I'll take it. I'll put them on the set. I'll put the Nike. If it comes with the book that has the Nike swoosh on it, I 100% want those. For sure. Today's episode is also brought to you by MyBookie, our online sportsbook and casino sponsor here on RBP. If you're looking for a place to get all the action you can handle this NFL season, bet on the NBA, college football, golf, MMA, or the World Cup, which is obviously ongoing, and a ton of fun to bet on. All your sports betting needs are taken care of at MyBookie.ag with all the prop bets, live lines, alternate lines, and futures that you could possibly need. Plus the online casino, which features live roulette, live blackjack, and more, which means you can see the deal. You can literally watch the fucking roulette person spin the wheel or whatever. It's crazy. And for a limited time only, join the MyBookie family using the code ROSS at checkout to support our show, and you'll receive a deposit bonus instantly, giving you even more dough to throw at your favorite sporting event. The website's awesome on desktop and mobile. It's incredibly easy to use, beautifully laid out. So what are you waiting for? Just use promo code ROSS, ROSS, on sign up at MyBookie.ag to activate your bonus and get that deposit bonus today. Lock in for the rest of the NFL season. Playoffs are around the corner. Bet on the World Cup. It's a lot of fun. If you're watching soccer and you're going, I don't know how much I care about this, you'll care a lot more when you got money on the line. I promise you that. MyBookie.ag, code ROSS when you sign up to unlock that deposit bonus and support the podcast. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. So the day after Thanksgiving, we tried to take my stepdaughter to her favorite restaurant for dinner, but it was closed. So we ended up going to Luby's. Jared, are you familiar with Luby's?
Yeah, it's like if you took a hospital cafeteria and made it freestanding.
Basically, it's a cafeteria, Luby's Cafeteria. And I'm not going to sit here and argue that it's like the most high-quality food in the world, but delicious it is. And I'll be honest with you, I don't even know if that's true. All I know that's true is that what I order every single time, and what I've ordered every single time since I was a child for probably 25 years now,
I know what it's called.
It is delicious.
Okay.
You're going to say Luann platter, and you're going to be wrong.
Okay. That's the only thing I know on the menu there.
If you get the Luann platter, you only get the half of the fried fish. They cut the rectangle in half, and you got a square. I don't want that. I get the whole fried fish, but it is basically, I had so many Instagram responses from people because I put up documentation on my story, my Instagram story, from people being like, Luann platter for life. And I was like, it's not, but yeah, sure, whatever.
Wait, it's a Luann platter with extra fish?
Yeah, pretty much. I would also note that a friend of the show and one of the hosts of the Circling Back podcast, Dylan Shivery, was almost killed in a tragic accident while waiting in line at a Luby's when a car crashed through the wall.
Yeah.
And one of the most insane fucking things I have ever heard in my life. He was with his son. It was crazy.
So that's like what you'd see on Live Leak.
Yeah, I won't lie. Every time I walk into a Luby's now, I think about that, and I'm like, I hope that doesn't happen to me.
I mean, of all the places that would happen, Luby's is top of the list because it's a very popular old person hangout, and old people notably do that sometimes.
Very important piece of the puzzle here is that it is 99% occupied by the elderly, and it is funny-ass people watching for that reason, too. But the line takes forever because the olds, they move very, very slow down the line, and they take a long time to decide on. You go through a line, and you pick, like if you were at the cafeteria at school, you pick what you want. You point and tell them what you want, and they put it on your plate or whatever, on your tray. And I also enjoy the nostalgia factor. It's a big piece of my Luby's love because I used to go pretty often when I was a kid. And what I get every single time is the whole fried fish, comes in a rectangle shape, mashed potatoes with brown gravy, macaroni and cheese, and cornbread. And that is, I'm not kidding, one of my favorite meals in the world. I could eat it every single night for dinner.
That is the most carb-heavy meal I've maybe ever heard of.
Yeah, it's bulking season for me. And when I was a kid, I would also get chocolate milk and Jell-O, but now I just mooch off of the child's.
I would never eat Jell-O except if I'm at like a cafeteria, like a Jason's Deli. Then I'm just like, oh, that cube of Jell-O just like looks good.
So this is like lots of little cubes, the Luby style Jell-O. It's lots of I'm telling you,
it's like cube cereal.
Yeah, it's tempting. It's really tempting. And the toddler did get some, and I did have a couple bites. It was blue though. I always go with green.
Yeah, I don't like blue flavor.
I didn't like the blue.
Red is my favorite Jell-O.
Red's not bad. The other thing I remember,
are they different flavors or just different colors?
I feel like my brain recognizes them as different flavors based on the color. but I'm not confident that they actually are.
Yeah, like a blind taste test. I don't know if that would yield the results.
I don't think it would. Yeah. The other thing I remember is they have those little swords. You know, the little swords that are used for like
cherries.
Those go in all kinds of things at Luby's, and I would get those when I was a little kid. And me and my brother would sword fight with each other, not with our penises, with the little with the little swords at the table, and our parents would scream at us, "You'll poke your eye out." And so okay, but the point of this whole discussion is that when I posted, like, first of all, it was a Luby's attached to a Fuddruckers, which was like the ultimate childhood nostalgia bomb for me because I used to go to both of those places frequently in Houston. And I posted some photos of like the Luby's and the Fuddruckers and then my tray or whatever, and then the Luby's VIP sign they had up because that's a hilarious concept to me that even exists is absurd. Luby's VIP, most exclusive club in the world. And the amount of responses I got to this Luby's shit was more than I've gotten from anything ever, minus when Bruce got lost and we documented that and you found him.
I've never even been to a Luby's, and I've lived here for 7 years.
It's delicious. Speaking of which, before I forget, I was working out in the garage earlier, and one of these old guys in my neighborhood walked by and was like, "Hey, did you ever find that dog?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, dude, we found him a couple days later. Hero Jared did it. He's doing great. He's inside. He got groomed this weekend." And this old man was nearly moved to tears. It's still impacting people, the story of Bruce and his big adventure. But it was hilarious. He was like, he's walking his dog by my house, and he was like, "I've been thinking about him every day since." I was like, Jesus Christ, old man, that was months ago. Find some other shit to think about. What's wrong with you? But it was sweet and reminded me of our experience together, Jared. But back to Luby's. What was your question? Oh, you've never been?
Yeah, we need to go.
Okay, no, 100%. If we hadn't already ordered lunch for today, I would make us go right now. It'd be delicious. I'd cancel the OCC recording that we have after this and just go to Luby's with you.
We'll go. We'll go with Content Cade.
We have to. Yes, we have to. Because there's no way I'm betting he's been.
He's not been.
He's from Indiana.
Wait, I thought Luby's was only in Texas, I'll be honest with you. I think I'm wrong on that now that I think about it.
There's no way it's only in Texas.
But in my head, it was a Texas thing because it's really big here. People always talk about it.
I'm Googling it. Is Luby's only in Texas? It looks like maybe, yes. It originated in San Antonio. Is Luby's in Florida? Damn. Okay, this is the crazy thing, and this is why I got so many responses. Most of the Luby's that existed are now closed. So, like, one of the questions on Google was, is Luby's in Florida? And it says the last 4 Luby's cafeterias in the Tampa Bay area will close Wednesday as new management looks for a way to reverse the troubled chain's fortunes. So I think it was it's probably the last 15 years, they've been shuttering Luby's all over the fucking country, wherever they exist, because they've had financial issues.
Also COVID. Buffets.
That made it worse.
So another one is like Sweet Tomatoes / Soup Plantation is another chain, which Soup Plantation...
That's getting wiped out?
Yeah, but I mean, they should have changed that name a while ago, geez. But Sweet Tomatoes was that was my Luby's growing up was Sweet Tomatoes.
Soup Plantation.
Yeah, it's not a good name. They should have changed that a while ago.
But you're what?
Sweet Tomatoes.
I've never even heard of this.
It's like Checkers Rallies, right? There's 2 names for the same place depending on the area.
I know you've explained Checkers and Rallies to me before, so I won't ask.
They're the same restaurant. So are like Carl's Jr. and Hardee's, I think. Either way.
That's deeply upsetting.
Sweet Tomatoes was that was my Luby's growing up.
Okay.
Go in, you get the salad bar, you get the mac and cheese, you get the focaccia, the pizza, some chicken noodle soup. Very good. Oh, and they always had really good double chocolate muffins. So yeah, I think everybody has a cafeteria style restaurant they went to growing up.
Holler at us with the one that you went to growing up and that you loved. At Jared Borislow on Twitter, at WR Bolen on Twitter. Hit me with your go-to order. Instagram as well for both of us, same names. And if you have advice on how I should fight the HOA or run for HOA president or otherwise reverse harass the HOA president that currently exists, please let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I've gotten a lot of good ideas going already. Some people were telling me to put up election signs all over the neighborhood. There's apparently some kind of a loophole where you can put up as many election signs as you want, which I might use instead of shitting in the street. I don't feel like that one's going to end well for me. So, yeah. At Jared Borislow, Twitter and Instagram. At WR Bolen on Twitter and Instagram. Hit bolenmedia.com/shop for merch for all of our brands here at Bolen Media, including Formula Bone, Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, the Ross Bolen Podcast. It's time to start holiday shopping. As we've mentioned a few times on this show, make sure you get finishing cups for everyone in the family this holiday season. They're available now.
Where else will they finish?
bolenmedia.com/shop. Grandpa's not going to know where to finish.
We've already had multiple holiday orders of finishing cups. Somebody clearly like getting them as a stocking stuffer or something.
We've been moving a lot of Donkey Seb shirts.
Yeah, his last race was last weekend.
Oh, okay, that explains that. Yeah,
not this 2 weekends ago.
Formula Bone, our F1 show here at Bolen Media, hosted by, created by, run by, entirely marketed by Jared Borislow. Your J-Bone sitting in front of me.
Hey, we're in the off-season now for F1, but we're not in the Formula Bone off-season. Later this week, we have my top 10 moments of 2022's F1 season.
Wow.
Yep, and stay tuned for that.
Going to be exciting. Follow at Formula Bone on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter.
YouTube is...
subscribe on YouTube.
That's the big one for us.
YouTube.com/@ Formula Bone on YouTube. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, youtube.com/@ the Ross Bolen Podcast. If you want to watch full episodes of our show, I'll wave one more time to you. You get a wave. That's your payment. And follow us on TikTok at the Ross Bolen Podcast, Instagram at the Ross Bolen Podcast, Twitter at Ross Bolen Pod. Jared and I'll be back soon. Until next time, peace be with you and also with you.